Vasu, give us a sense of what David Cameron is going to do as far as Scotland is concerned. He's talked about devolution or a greater devolution, certainly. Is the Scottish National Party going to be putting pressure on London right now for that to happen as soon as possible?
Well, good morning to you. We are coming to you from a freezing morning here in Edinburgh. We're on what's known as the famous Royal Mile, and where the people of Scotland have woken up to a very, very different reality. What the leader of the SNP, Nicola Sturgeon, called a tectonic shift in the equations between Scotland and Britain. As you pointed out, the fact that the SNP has won a thumping majority has now raised questions about whether the SNP will actually push ahead for a fresh referendum. Remember, last time the referendum of those who wanted independence fell short by about 3 or 4%. But will there now be a momentum for making Scotland an independent country? Those are the concerns that have been raised in the south of England, in Westminster. But already we're seeing some momentum on that. I can show you the headline from the Scotsman this morning, which says that Nicola Sturgeon and David Cameron are going to be in talks. Leaders of a divided kingdom set to hold a summit over the constitutional future of the country. Apparently fairly soon after Cameron's victory, Nicola Sturgeon called him up and said that it is not going to be business as usual with Scotland. She said she would have much preferred to do business with Ed Miliband, but Ed Miliband could not secure a victory, but now she'll have to deal with the Conservatives. As far as the question of devolution is concerned, yes, David Cameron has said that he will devolve greater powers to Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. These are largely to do with areas like taxation. But whether or not this will satisfy the SNP is another question. The main sticking point here in Scotland has been the Conservatives' plan to announce $12 billion in spending cuts, something that they're against. They're very anti-austerity in Scotland, and that's been a real flashpoint, apart from, of course, what could be called the very strong nationalist sentiment. At the same time, I must point out that Nicola Sturgeon has made it clear that a vote for the SNP in this election may not necessarily be a vote for a referendum. She says for that, it'll have to be a vote in Scottish Parliament, and this is a vote to get Scotland's voice heard in Westminster. We'll have to see whether or not she's able to hold that line, given the kind of pressure that there might be from people on the streets here to actually ask for a fresh referendum. For the moment, though, there's going to be a big show of strength shortly, which is where we're heading, where all the newly elected MPs of the Scottish National Party are meeting for a photo opportunity. Nicola Sturgeon will be there, as will be all the other top leaders of the SNP, and we'll have a clearer idea of their strategy.